This is the Oppo Find X9 Pro, and it is an absolute spec monster. It has a 200 megapixel telephoto lens, a class-leading display, and a 7,500 mAh battery. It is a truly complete all-round package, and a phone that is clearly designed to be an iPhone killer. Let's talk about it.
Starting with the design, I think the shape of the phone, rounded corners and the flat metal edges are pretty iPhone-like to begin with. It's a very minimal design, and one I personally think does look very nice. Obviously, it is extremely reminiscent of the new OnePlus 15 too, especially with this camera bump. It comes in either this lovely silk white finish or a darker titanium charcoal. The phone has a snap key on the left side, which you can customize to perform different tasks, like an iPhone. There's also a quick button you can press and swipe along for various camera features, again, just like an iPhone. It offers good durability with an aluminium frame, Gorilla Glass Victus, and an IP69 dust and water resistance rating.
This is a reasonably large and heavy phone to hold, though that is pretty standard these days. The matte textured glass in the frame, along with those rounded corners, does help us to feel a bit more comfortable though, and it resists fingerprints really well. In any case, it certainly feels like a truly premium flagship device.
The display specs are top tier with a 6.78-inch Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and LTPO panel. You get up to 3600 nits of peak brightness, 450 pixels per inch, and it can drop down to just 1 nit of minimum brightness for low light viewing too. Oppo emphasizes the high frequency PWM dimming for reducing flicker and eye strain as well, which is excellent news for those who are prone to issues with this. There's also an improved ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which works very quickly and reliably, but there is face unlock here too. The standout display feature for me though is the bezels, which are an industry-leading 1.15mm in thickness. That is incredibly thin, and they're symmetrical too for a really cinematic viewing experience. You could easily make the argument that this is the best display on the market right now. It's bright, it's colourful, it's sharp, it looks great.
The stereo speakers offer a decent range of volume, and overall I'd say sound pretty good. They're not quite as bassy as the market leaders, like the iPhone, but take a listen to these samples and let me know what you think.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Can we switch up all the rules?
Oppo's standout feature is the enormous 7,500 mAh battery. And the reason this stood out so much is because the new iPhone 17 Pro Max we reviewed recently has a 5,088 mAh battery. Just to put this into perspective, Oppo's battery is about 50% bigger than both the iPhone and Samsung's Galaxy S25 Ultra.
So I should just tell you right away that this is the best battery life I have ever tested in a smartphone. You can comfortably get 2, even 3 days of use, and I wouldn't even say you have to be that careful with your battery use either. And that is honestly really liberating.
For further context, I stress tested the phone across a range of activities, matching the battery testing I did for the iPhones recently to get a sense of comparison, and after a full day of intensive, heavy usage, the phone still had 53% remaining. The 17 Pro Max had 27% with this same test.
The iPhone has amazing battery life, so what do we say for Oppo's Find X9 Pro?
As you'd expect from an Oppo phone, we have super fast wired and wireless charging here, 80-watt charging at its top speed, so when you do eventually need to top up, it won't take very long. Amusingly, it takes less time to charge than the 17 Pro Max, despite having that 50% larger battery. Powering this phone is the MediaTek Dimensity 9500, and this brings quite a significant leap in performance over the predecessor. It also has 16GB of RAM, 512GB of storage, advanced vapor chamber cooling. Naturally, these are flagship specs. Here are some of the performance benchmark results from Geekbench and 3DMark. It proves the phone is fast and can handle high-intensity tasks, and it can compete with some of the best-performing phones on the market. The results showed that the Find X9 Pro is on par with, or even beating, some of the most popular and powerful phones of 2025. You will comfortably be able to play high-end games, edit 4K video, and run complex AI tasks on this phone. That 16GB of RAM gives you a lot of scope for multitasking as well. Just a quick word on ColorOS 16. Obviously, this is coming to other devices too, but I've been really enjoying it. It's smooth and fast, the animations are slick and fluid, and there are lots of useful features here without a ton of bloatware. It's quite obviously been modeled to replicate the look of iOS, but with all of the standard Android features you'd expect.
I'm someone who really enjoys iOS as a software, so to have such a similar experience, but with the enormous benefits of an actually usable, intelligent Google Assistant rather than Siri, is perfect.
One of the Find X9 Pro's signature features is absolutely the Hasselblad camera system. This includes 50 megapixel selfie, main and ultra wide cameras, and then the centerpiece is of course the 200 megapixel telephoto lens. There's also an additional camera just for more accurate color processing. The Hasselblad and Lumo imaging engine combination make it very easy to get great looking photos straight out of the camera, regardless of the lens you're using. Images have bold and striking colors and contrast without crossing that line of over-the-top processing. You get great detail, exposure, dynamic range, and satisfying consistency across the lenses as well. That aspect I found particularly impressive where so many phones get this wrong. In an industry first, the Find X9 Pro can capture images natively at 50 megapixels on all three rear lenses. Phones typically use pixel binning to produce images at around 12 megapixels instead. The X9 Pro will still do this as well in poorer lighting conditions. It will intelligently adapt to the environment, but it is capable of producing much more detailed and sharp images by default. It'll come as no surprise, I'm sure, to say that the range of zoom you have here is excellent, and photos at 3, 10, even 30x zoom can look fantastic. Beyond this, it serves as a pretty useful tool, I suppose, but honestly, the phone does still suffer, much like the competitors, when you get to those extreme zoom levels. The AI processing tends to smooth out text and give that watercolor-like effect. I'm not a fan of this. But at lower zoom levels, the X9 Pro performs extremely well. You can get default 50 megapixel shots at 6x zoom, and even lossless zoom quality up to 13.2x. It is a highly versatile system. The camera's performed really well in low light situations too. Colors are captured realistically, there's very little noise, but images still turned out well detailed. They don't suffer from overly bright exposures as the phone compensates for the lack of light, and capture times were typically quite short as well. Video is very good too. You can record 4K 120fps Dolby Vision. The white balance and exposure is realistic, and I was impressed with the stability and smoothness in particular. You can see the huge quality improvement as we switch lenses and engage that high-res telly, and great quality zoomed video is something that most smartphones really struggle with. The phone is packed with pro tools as well, with full control over camera controls for photo and video, RAW capture, log recording, and much more. It's easy to use for beginners and casual users, but offers in-depth control for the pros too. I should mention that Oppo also offers this Hasselblad teleconverter kit for the Find X9 Pro, and it is a smartphone camera game changer. The kit includes an aramid fiber case, a quick mounting plate, and this teleconverter to push the zoom range of the telelens to the next level. It extends the zoom range by 3.28x for up to 230mm in focal length, and you can get some pretty outstanding results with this. Yes, this is an additional accessory, an expensive one too, but the fact you can achieve this level of quality zoom from a smartphone and lens that both fit inside your pocket is pretty special, and it separates the Find X9 Pro from pretty much every other smartphone camera on the market.
This phone is a true flagship, maybe the flagship right now. Naturally, it is very expensive, so it's not going to be for everyone. It costs £10.99 in pounds or £12.99 in euros. So for some context, that is the same UK pricing as the iPhone 17 Pro.
I think the price and the fact that there's no US release are going to be my two biggest drawbacks with this phone. I'd also have wanted to see magnetic Qi 2 support here, since other Android phones are now doing this. If you can reason with those things though, you're getting a whole lot of phone for the money. It's an extremely capable all-rounder and really has very few weaknesses.
I've now switched over and I'm carrying this as my main Android phone, and honestly, I'm struggling to see anything that might beat this.
The Oppo Find X9 Pro is so obviously designed to be an iPhone killer. There are numerous similarities in the design, the software, and beyond.
But Oppo may have ended up simply making a smartphone killer. It could end up being the best phone released this year.
Let me know in the comments what you think about this phone, and if you have any further questions, then I have spent a lot of time with it so far, so I should be able to help you. If you found this video helpful at all, please give it a like to let me know. Do also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.